Good and welcome to all our viewers out there. Welcome to another edition of your newspaper review on Idea Television. I am Jacobs Deborah, and today we'll be starting with the first newspaper on our front page, and it's the Punch newspaper front page, where we see on the Punch newspaper front page that Wike Turaki camps differ on PDP Secretariat report reopening in page 19 of that newspaper. Now moving to page 7 of that newspaper, we see there's a strike ASU NEC to review federal government's final term on Wednesday. And we also see in page 19 that NSA launches 2025-2030 counter-terrorism plan. And if you look beneath the Punch icon, we can see kidnapping crisis, governor convene emergency session, school lockdown rises in page 2 and page 19 of the newspaper. Beside the Punch icon, we see that 2027 presidency article ADC registration spark storm in page 2 of the newspaper. Now, if you look beneath the big headline, we also see that UK rejects Nigerians' request to reparate Ekwamadu in page 19, and in that same page we see that Osun 2026 a delegate set to re-announce re-election platform on that particular newspaper. We also see that there's a picture on that front page of the managing director and chief executive officer of Nigerian Brewers PLC. We also see beneath that picture that inflation MPC may cut interest rate again today in page 25, and in page 5 of that newspaper, police tighten security in legal schools and worship centers. And beside it, which is the last headline for that newspaper, we see constitution reviews move to 36 state assemblies in page 22 of that newspaper. Now looking into some of the headlines, we see that on the first of our list is the Northern Nigerian is facing a growing security crisis, prompting 19 Northern governors to schedule an emergency meeting for November 29, 2025 in Kaduna to discuss the rising cases of kidnapping, banditry, and attack on schools. This follows a similar security meeting held by the Southwest Governor in Ibadan, where they renewed their call for state police and stronger forest surveillance after the recent bandit attack in Kebbi and Niger, as well as Kwara State. Several northern states, including Bauchi, have closed all schools as armed groups continue to abduct students, including the recent kidnapping of schoolgirls, yes, in Kebbi, and over 300 students and staff in Niger State. We also see that governors across Plateau, Kano, Gombe, Nasarawa, and Kebbi have launched emergency measures bringing for security motorcycles and security agencies, while religious bodies in Borno and Plateau are holding prayer sections for peace. Security agencies, teachers' union, and Amnesty Internationals have raised concerns over the worsening attack, warning for fear of adoption will keep thousands of children out of school. Meanwhile, the Speaker of House of Representatives has condemned that school attack and called for a review of the nation's security system as communities continue to demand urgent action to stop growing wave of insecurity in the country. With the rising insecurity, frequent school attack seriously damaging the country's growth, we hope to see that all of these can actually curb the situation of the insecurity that the country faces at large. And now we're moving into one of the headlines also. We see that the National Executive Council of Academic School Staff Union of Universities will meet on Wednesday to decide the union next step after federal government renegotiation team led by Yayela Ahmed reconvened talks with ASU on Monday at least minutes effort to prevent another nationwide strike. A senior NEC member confirmed that the renegotiation is expected to end. Nigerian Labour Congress has declared full support for ASU, saying it will stand with the union if the demands are not yet met. A new ASU strike would slow down the country's growth and add to the current issue of the insecurity in Nigeria. And if workers are saying that they need the government to actually pay attention to them, I think at the end of the day we would want to see ASU and the federal government and also NEC to sit on the table and make a final decision and give a solution to this particular problem before it gets out of hand. Now looking into another headline, we see that Nigeria on Monday unveiled its counter-terrorism strategic plan of 2025 to 2030 in Abuja. As the nation battles renewed kidnapping, bandit attack, rural killings, and ongoing threats from Boko Haram and ISWAP, the plan was launched by the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, who said insecurity has worsened school, farming, investment, and hopes of young people, stressing that new strategy represents a fresh national push to protect lives. He noted that while the National Assembly has possessed several laws to strengthen the defense and intelligence, more investment in people, technology, training, and partnership is needed. National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu, represented by General Adamu Laka, described the plan as a result of extensive research and collaboration, with long-term goals of making Nigeria a regional hub for fighting terrorism and violent extremism. The new plan will guide the reform in intelligence sharing, law enforcement coordination, and community involvement over the next 5 years. And many communities in the Northwest, Northeast, North Central will continue to suffer worst impact of insecurity if this is not taken into consideration fast. Now, a strong, effective counter-terrorism plan is going to help boost the national growth by making communities safer and encouraging investment, as well as allowing farmers and schools, as well as business to operate without fear in the country. But with all of these reforms, we hope that it will not just all will go beyond the paperwork and move into action in full. Now, looking into another headline, we see that former Edo State Governor Adams Oshomole and APC Deputy National Organizing Secretary Nezu Zuru on Monday criticized former Vice President President Atiku Abubakar after formally registered as a member of African Democratic Congress ahead of 2027 election. Speaking on Channels Television, Oshomole described Atiku as a several defector who repeatedly leaves political parties whenever he fails to secure a presidential ticket, arguing that someone who could not stabilize his own party cannot lead Nigeria. He also dismissed Atiku's political chances and criticized other opposition figures like Rotimi Amechi. And Duru told the point that Nigerian political landscape remains too unpredictable to identify a main opposition party, but instead APC would not underestimate any opposition challenger. An Atiku ADC registration attended by top politicians, including former governor and senator, has deepened internal division within the party, as a faction led by Bala rejected to exercise illegitimate and accuses Atiku of ignoring due process. Meanwhile, Atiku Ali was absent from the event, claiming that former vice president had changed the schedule without notice. Despite the controversy, Atiku told supporters that the real opposition has begun as ADC leaders prepare to statewide membership registration ahead of 2027 polls. Now, political instability and constant party defection we've seen from different opposition party rising in their houses. And just like the governor had said, if you're not being able to put up a fire in your own house, how will you put up the fire in the country? We hope to see that this whole issue will be resolved even before or in the preparation of the 2027 coming election. Now, looking into another headline, analysts expect the Central Bank of Nigerian Monetary Policy Committee to cut interest rates again as it concludes its November meeting today, possibly by between 25 and 100 basis points. The follow of the September meeting, where MPC reduced and benchmarked rate to 27% and adjusted several policy tools under Governor Olayemi